Hey everyone, in this video, I'm going to talk about how to rewire your brain to do the right things. So how do you know this video applies for you? If you're like someone who's struggling with like motivation to do the work, you're feeling lazy all the time and you just can't get yourself to do the right things, I'll be teaching you how to change your brain so that doing those things is effortless for you. And ultimately, you can succeed in whatever goal that you want to pursue. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Now, for the first point, and this is something that you probably heard from Tony Robbins before if you follow his work. As humans, we are motivated by both pain and pleasure. And also, the same goes towards we also have a more strong tendency to avoid pain than it is to avoid pleasure. And that's why, using your phone is quite addicting, because it's painful to not check your phone. I'm sure you can relate with me. And when you finally check your messages and you check social media, things become much more, comfortable. You feel excited, you feel more peace of mind. So that's an example of how pain and pleasure goes into play. Now, I'm going to explain to you the problem. The reason why we can't do the right things is the following. We associate pleasure to doing the wrong things, and we assign pain to the right things. That's the reason why we are lazy in the first place, right? We associate the feelings of laziness, the feeling of, it's too hard, it's too tiring, towards doing the right things that you need to do to achieve your goals. But when it comes to, staying comfortable, staying where you are, watching Netflix, we assign a lot of pleasure to it. So what happens is this is basically screwing up your mind. It's making you more lazy to do the things that you need to do, and it's making you more complacent and comfortable to staying where you're at, which is a huge and terrible mistake that you probably have to fix. Now, to rewire your brain, you have to change your relationship with what you consider pain and pleasure. Because nowadays, people are just walking unconsciously in life, not pursuing anything, and without further conscious thought, 1 year has gone by and they wasted a lot of their time. So, in order to change, we are going to have to avoid these two mistakes. Alright, the first one is dopamine stimulating activities. And that goes like social media, Netflix, eating extremely tasty food all the time, anything that gives you immediate pleasure or immediate results. We want to avoid that. Because the more you're being spoiled with getting immediate results or immediate feedback, we are more likely to rely on those things. Because doing things to achieve your goals takes time. You won't see the fruits of your labors immediately. So whenever we don't see an immediate result from our actions, what happens is we start doubting ourselves, we start not wanting to do the work because you don't see anything. So this is one of them. Try to limit dopamine releasing activities. And mistake number 2 is unrealistic goals. And people usually set very big goals, and I suggest you to try to smaller your goals into what you want to achieve on the next month, in the next 6 months, in the next year. Because if you're going to set those huge goals, it's going to be, exciting, but then you won't feel motivated to do the work. You can easily procrastinate on the actions needed. Let's say you want to achieve $1 million, all right? Then say, okay, I'm going to do this and this and this today. Then if you're going to connect your goals to that $1 million goal, it's I'll do it tomorrow. I won't, get $1 million immediately. So, I'll probably do this action tomorrow. I'm going to do this next week. So although it's exciting, big goals, but if it's going to make you more lazy, it's time to switch to smaller ones, something more realistic, something that you can achieve in the next 30 days or at the most the next 6 months. So you do not procrastinate any longer. Now, I'm going to give you a 1 week action plan in order to achieve your goals And I mean not achieve your goals. I mean in order to rewire your brain to what you consider pain and pleasure, so that doing the right things become effortless for you. And stick around to this end of this video, because the next steps is going to be really important if you really want to change your brain. Alright, step number 1. Write one goal you want to achieve in the next 30 days. As I explained before, like next 30 days, so at least it's more realistic. Something that gives you the sense of urgency, Like, okay, within 30 days, I have to achieve this. Like, that sense of urgency propels action rather than the big goals of, 1 year, 2 years, 1 million in the bank, and so on. Step 2. Write down who you need to become to achieve the goal. Because this is who you are right now, right? You are a person, and if you're probably the person that is worthy of achieving that 30-day goal, you already have that goal in the first place. You wouldn't have set that goal. So in order for you to achieve a goal, you need to become the person who deserves the goal. You need to become the person who actually is capable of getting that 30-day goal of yours. Because if you are not that person, then you won't get the goal. So write it down. Third step. List the habits and behaviors of that person. So what are the things that I need to do on a day-to-day basis or on a weekly basis in order to achieve my 1-month goal? Now, there's going to be a lot of things, but I advise you to limit those things no more than 5. Because if you're going to have it more than 5 things, then it's going to be too overwhelming for you. So limit things to like no more than 5. Like perhaps like 3 things that you're going to do on a daily basis and 2 things that you're going to do on a weekly basis. For example, like who you need to become is going to be individual. So I advise you to think on like what are the bare minimum things that I need to do to achieve my 30-day goal, right? And to become that person that you need to become in order to become deserving of that goal. The next step, step 4, list the benefits of achieving the goal and the pain of staying where you're at. So this is where we start reprogramming your brain. We are actually putting the conscious thought into thinking about the benefits of doing all those things that you're going to do, all the hard work, the effort, the discipline you're going to put into your actions. We're going to list down all of the things that will be beneficial for us. Like, let's say, like by achieving that 30-day goal of yours, like for example, like getting your first client, maybe like whatever your goal is, all right? Write down how will it change your life, how will it make your life better, like what will it make you as a person, how will it change your situation and so on. And then write down also what are the consequences of staying where you're at. Like how will it make you feel knowing that within 30 days from now you haven't achieved your goal. Like what are like the painful feelings of staying where you're at. Like list it all down. Like we do not recall when things are painful, alright? And as humans, we are more motivated to stay away from pain. So if you're constantly going to remind yourself of how painful your current situation is, the more motivated you are to actually taking action. So associate a lot of pain to where you're at right now, alright? Put a lot of discomfort with, just sitting down, being lazy, being undisciplined, sleeping late all the time. Associate a lot of pain with those things, and then associate a lot of pleasure with doing the right things, because that will ultimately lead you to comfort towards achieving your goals. Now, the fifth step. Every morning and night, read the list. And that's how we are going to reprogram your brain. Like, I advise, like, first thing when you wake up in the morning, because that's where our brain is like the freshest, and also like first thing when you go to bed, so you can fall asleep thinking about this. Every morning, every night, discipline yourself for the next 1 week to read that list. And you can do it longer as well. Like, this is a 1 week challenge. But as you stick to the process, you are reprogramming your brain towards thinking what is pleasurable and what is pain, and changing the relationship. And now the last step, which is going to be the hardest one. Whenever you feel lazy or not motivated, alright, remind yourself of the list and flip the script. So whenever you catch yourself like thinking, this is hard, I feel lazy, I don't feel like waking up today, flip the script. Like, think, like, what are the consequences or what are the painful feelings of engaging with those like lazy and complacent behaviors, and then immediately think, okay, what are the things that I need to do in order to achieve my goals? And that's gonna flip the script. Because usually when we like check our phones and everything, like, we don't realize that we are unconsciously associating pleasure towards using your phone and pain towards like not using your phone and actually doing something more productive. So we're gonna flip the script. Whenever you're being lazy or whenever you're like complaining, think about, okay, what are the consequences of me complaining about this thing? What are the consequences of being lazy right now? And then when you want to do the work and you're feeling all those like negative emotions, think about the benefits. Like, what am I possibly achieving by doing this? Who am I becoming by doing those actions day in, day out? And this is your 1 week challenge for you. Like, if you do this thing for the next 7 days, I promise, like, doing the right things becomes more effortless for you. And if you continue this, like, this is not just a 1 week thing. Like, this is basically who you will become as a person. Like, by the end of this, hopefully in the next 30 days, in the next 6 months to the next year, you become someone who has rewired yourself completely towards what you associate pain and pleasure with. Because if you don't, it's gonna be a very unproductive year for you, because it's gonna be hard to actually do the right things if you don't change your relationships with what you do. So that's it for this video. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe for more self-help content like this. And of course, if you like to work with me personally, to become your life coach in order to help you to achieve your goals, to become more confident and so on, hit me up in the email below. I'll be writing down in the description, and I'll be happy to like hop on a call with you and discuss more about what's your situation and how I can potentially help you and create a game plan for you towards achieving your goals and what you want for this year. Now, that's all for me, and I'll see you guys in the next video soon. Peace.